First, common mistakes in the IELTS is our topic. This will be a very quick discussion since I have to go somewhere else. Forgive me. Basically, as the title of the lecture implies, this lecture aims for candidates like you to understand that test takers in the past have taken this examination quite a few times actually. Some of them have taken this examination quite a few times already. And we want to learn from the lessons that they have picked up along the way. Like what difficulties did I encounter, what made the examination unbearable for them so that during our time it becomes more bearable. You know what I mean? So those difficulties encountered can enhance our outlook for the test, bringing a much easier approach. So the errors they committed, we will look into them, we will listen to them. What did you do which made you fail the test? So that I won't do it, so that I won't fail the test. Basically, that's what the title is about. Okay? So this lesson was compiled by the lecturers of Niner main branch, so shout out to them, back in 2021. Yata. So this is a lecture that is pretty new. Okay, so it's not a major lecture. This is going to be a minor lecture, yet it will cover everything. So we have a common mistakes lecture, particularly for writing. We have a common mistakes lecture, particularly for speaking. I literally have a lecture intended only for writing Task 1 Academic. Common mistakes in writing Task 1 Academic. I have that lecture that exists. I will be uploading that pretty soon. No? So basically, the reason why at 9.09er have lectures such as common mistakes in those variations is because people have committed so many errors in the past. We don't want to commit the same mistakes they did. Otherwise, we'll fail the test too, which we don't want, which is the reason why we're here anyway. We don't want to fail, we want to pass. Correct. Okay, let me just clarify that we have the same goal. Kasi ikaw baka gusto trip mo nang mag-exam, gusto ko na mag-trip, gusto ko na bumagsak. No? Nasa iyo yun. No? So lahat ng errors na maririnig mo naman ngayon dito, sundin mo. Ganun lang kasimple yan. Alright? So, what is the most common mistake? Not listening to the lecturer. We will tell you what to do. If you follow, we will guarantee that you will pass. If you don't, then we cannot promise that you win. It's that simple. We have been chosen as your lecturer for reasons. We were able to achieve a particular score, which not many people get often. That's why we were offered this job. No? Dito basta-basta ang ino-offer sa iba. Mayabang kami, totoo yun. So the reason why we are mayabang is because we have numbers to back it up. Bakit naman kami magiging lecturer kung mas magaling ka pa sa amin? Ganun lang kasimple yun. So we need to make sure that our skill set, our level of examination test taking is one step at least better than candidates. So for example, Ma'am Shannon, she's so damn good when it comes to the listening and speaking. I'm not. I'm better when it comes to reading and writing, but I'm not as good as her when it comes to speaking. So that's why we're trying to cover each other's shortcomings. Ganun lang naman siya, no? But on an overall scale, Ma'am Shannon is one of the legends when it comes to the test itself. Kasi with the minimal preparation of just 2 weeks, ganun yung production ng number niya. So given the talent that she has, top notch, no? So really deserving of our coaches as speaking. So not listening to us, we will tell you, hey, when you do speaking, this is what you should do. This is how you should pronounce these words. Hey, when you do writing, make sure that you don't do this again because examiners will notice them and it will be flagged as a mistake. And if you accumulate these number of mistakes, then examiners will have no choice but to give you this low band score. They have metrics. We know the metrics. We impose the metrics during coaching sessions, during speaking one-on-one, during writing coaching sessions. So we want you to know that if you continue doing this, there's no improvement, there's no growth. Sabi ko nga sa post ko kanina, doon sa group, Let it exist first. Do it better later. You know what I mean? Because some people are so afraid of taking even the first step. I don't know what's getting into them these days. Ni hindi nagsasubmit ng writing, ni hindi nagpapacoach ng speaking. During pandemic, 2021 to 2022, nakamask kami. May plastic division, plastic acetate. Tapos, nagpapacoach siya sa mahigit 30 sa isang araw. Pandemic pa na, ha? Ngayon, may kakayahan naman. Ba't ninyo ginagawa? Iwas kayo ng iwas. Paano kayo ma-iskoran? Paano nyo malalaman yung skills, yung ability nyo at this point? Because as your coach, especially as your coach, pag ako, tinatanong ko kayo sa speaking, pang ilang session na natin? Kasi I want to measure it. I want to measure. Like, your first time, I'll forgive you if you suck. Imagine you're a baby and I want you to multiply 4 by 3. You're a 1-year-old kid. Can you do it? Of course not. You're a baby. So basically, we're all going to start as a baby, even in this exam. We're all going to suck. We're all going to start at this level. Okay? So of course, after trying again and again, after 3 times, mo nang nakapagpa-coach, malalaman ko na, how can I compare your first time to your second time? Your second time to your third time? How far or how near are they when it comes to the ability level that you showcased? Like, your first time is your reference. Your second time is your reference now that you know how to deal with it properly. And your third attempt, not just for writing, but even speaking, will be my measurement of your actual growth. So kung sa umpisa naka-4 ka, sa sumunod naka-5 ka, sa pangatlo naka 5.5 ka, magandang growth yan. Kasi, you're not stagnating. Ang baba mo, pero umaangat ka. We're seeing progress. Kesa naman nag-start ka ng 7, yumabang, hindi na nagpa-coach, kaya ko naman yung puking inang yan eh. Hindi na nagpa-coach, nagulat sa mismong exam na umpisang coaching session natin, maamo pa kami sa'yo, syempre, easy questions muna, hindi mo na naranasan yung ibang multitudes, ibang facets of the test. Sumabak sa test, the real world, ayun pala siya, nasampal ka ng katotohanan, ang layo tuloy ng score na akala mong makukuha mo. Diba? Kaya kung napag-iisip-isip ka, o nga, ano, hindi ako nagpapa-coach, good luck. Good luck. Good luck na lang po. Sayang. Diba? Punta ako dito, Webes. Webes yung holiday, diba? Oh.
Yes.
Sabi ng misis ko, iihaw-ihaw daw kami. Hindi kami nakapag-ihaw-ihaw. No? So, galit na naman siya. Kailangan ko na nang magwalis ng magwalis, maghugas ng bote. Para mag-coach dito. Tapos hindi naman kayo nagpapa-coach. So, nahasayangan ako sa oras at panahon na nandito kayo, wala naman nangyayari. Yung ginagawa niyo, mock. Okay na, okay. Nahayaan namin kayo mag-mock. In-encourage namin kayo mag-mock. Sa bahay, dito sa office, dito sa testing center. No? Kasi that's also a way for you to introduce yourself to the concept of the test in general skill. Pero mock ka ng mock, hindi mo naman alam gawin ng proper, nag-gets yung point? Langoy ka ng langoy, hindi mo naman alam yung iba't ibang strokes. Magaling ka lumangoy by default. Yes. But you're not trained to compete to this elite level. Kaya nga, it's not just you practicing, it's not just you doing mock, it's you doing all these kinds of things. That's why this exists. May lecture, may replay, may mock, may coaching. Do them together. These are the ingredients. This is the recipe to success. Pag nasobrahan ka ng toyo, aalat. Pag nasobrahan ka ng suka, aasin. Hindi perfect yung adobo mo. Pag nasobrahan ka ng karne, malansa. Oh. kuha. So you have to mix those things up. Kaya may ganito, proven and tested yan. Yung CEO namin, researcher yun. Gumagana to. Most of the time, just as long as we listen. Let us help you, please. Okay? Sleeping during class. Naawa ko sa mga estudyante na nanggagaling sila ng night duty. Tapos, magkaklase. Attend ang klase. Bakit? Kasi sabi nga nila, you can't serve two masters at once. You can't be at two places. You can't be in two places at the same time. Hindi ka pwedeng natutulog at nag-aaral. Kasi kung pupunta ka dito, just for the sake of being here, oo nga sir. Diba? Kawawa ka eh. Hindi ka na nakatulog, hindi ka pa nakapag-aral. You're trying to achieve two things, yet you aren't even doing any. Kung natulog ka sa bahay, di naman mangyayari ha, natulog ka sa bahay, nagpahinga ka, nag-relax ka, you felt rejuvenated, nanood ka ng replay. Mas pasok yung information sa'yo. May replay naman eh. Huwag kang mahiya na bigyan yung sarili mo ng konting pahinga. Maging mabait ka sa sarili mo. Sabi ko nga sa isang estudyante kahapon. Alam mo, be, ang galing mo na dati. Ano nangyari sa writing mo? Hindi ito to, hindi ikaw to. Sabi ko sa kanya. Alam mo kung ano gagawin mo? Sabi ko sa kanya, totoo ha, maglibot ka. Sir, kasi malapit na nga po exam. Exactly, nape-pressure ka. Mag-aya ka magbaler. Diba? Huwag lang ngayon, kasi syempre, mabagyo. Ano man, pumunta ka ngayon, tapos kinain ka ng alok, kasalanan mo pa. Kung nakikinig ka ngayon, huwag ngayon, okay? Konsensya ko yan. Okay? Mag-relax ka, mag-SM ka, mag-aya ka magkape sa mga kaibigan mo. Relax. Drop that weight on your shoulder. Okay? There's also a reason why yung mga boxers, mga fighters, meron silang weeks of preparation at meron silang week before the event na wala silang ginawa kundi magpahinga, mag-relax, pamasahe, stretching. Kasi kung dumating ka sa fight, nag-mimits ka pa din, and kung na-injury yung shoulder mo, ang dami mong injury pala, dumating ka rin, hindi ko 100%. So some people always forget this important thing, to take a break. Take a break. Diba? Oftentimes, you have to take a break. Maging mabait ka naman sa sarili mo. Huwag masyadong harsh. Masyado nang harsh ang mundo, maging harsh ka pa sa sarili mo. Diba? Gusto mo ng milk tea? Nakakataba yan. Milk tea ka kahit nakakataba. Minsan lang. Diba? Treat yourself. Huwag naman, i-treat ko na lang self ko, tapos di na ako nag-aral. Na-OA naman sa treat. Applying for the exam without preparing for the test. Lalo na yung mga nagugulat na lang kami, sir, exam ko na nga po pala next week. Ha? Good luck. Diba? Alright? So let us know your timeline so that we can insert some tips. Paano natin papabilisin? Ba't nangingiti ka? Nagbook ka na ng exam? Tutok-tukan kita ng mic.
Parang gusto ko nga pumunta like, can you suggest a time, like...
So we have a question here. What's her name?
Ira.
Ira. Ha?
Lay na lang po.
Lay. Ano talaga?
Dali na kasi yung real name ko po.
So, Ira, a student here at the branch, asked a question. Sir, can you suggest a time, a date? If you're really rushing into it, 2 months will be enough. The healthy duration would be 3. You can say for 4, it's okay. Kasi it gives you this overall lecture attendance, mock practices, at sa 3 buwan siguro naka 12 to 15 one-on-one coaching sessions ka na. So, lahat ng posibleng matanong talaga, matatanong na natin sa practice. Mapamadali, mapamahirap. Gugulat nga sila, sir, alam mo, mas madali pa yung exam kaysa sa one-on-one coaching. They will literally tell us that. Because that's exactly what we do. Sabi nga namin, it should be 1 step more difficult. Yung difficulty level namin dapat 1 level na mas mahirap. So that when you get there, at kasing hirap ng level namin yung exam, wala kang adjustments na kailangan gawin. Pero kung masyado ka namin binibaby, no? Pusa, alien pala yung exam, magugulat ka. Hindi mo ngayon alam paano didepensa. So, 2 to 3 months would be healthy. Pag nagtanong ka sa akin, sir, may date po ba? Specifically sa kalendaryong ito na pwede ko mag-exam. Si Flower, sabihin niya sa inyo, mag-take ka na next week, mag-take ka na ng ganito, huwag kayong makikinig sa kanya. Yun ang sinasabi ko eh. Sabi ko nga, even if students give me, sir, here's 500,000 pesos, 500,000 pesos cold cash. Tell me the best date to take the test. I would refuse. Upfront. I don't need your money. I need my integrity. Because we cannot tell you, no one can tell you what is the best date to take the test. You will know. You are the deciding factor. Yun yan. Pag may sinabi siyang date, huwag kayong makikinig. Marketing nila yan. Siyempre. Pag nag-take ka ng exam, saka magbabayad sa kanila. Diba? So sabi ko nga, nahahaluan na kayo ng business dito sa yung business side at saka yung passion natin sa pagtuturo. Naapektuhan. Kasi hindi dapat tayo nakikialam sa date na gusto nilang mag-take ng exam. We shouldn't force pupils to this particular date just because we're trying to reach the quota. Eh ano ba kung walang mag-exam dyan? Kaya minsan bakante yan. Kasi sinasabihan ko sila, kahit walang mag-exam, kahit sarado yan, walang problema. Mag-e-exam yung mga estudyante sa oras sa tingin nila ay handa na sila. At kayo makakaalam nun, hindi ako. No? Hindi ang nanay mo. Hindi ang mga duwende. Magsama! Focus 26! Isa kang duwende! Anong ganito? So, you will be the one to determine. You are the deciding factor. Alisin mo yung pressure ng paligid mo. Meditate ka lang. Kung ganito ba ang growth ko, kung ganito ang progress ko, kaya ko na kaya by this time. Kung kahit hindi ko kaya dahil kailangan ko na kakayanin. Because some people don't have the liberty of time at their hands. They don't have that choice na mag-petics. Kasi may iba nagmamadali, may nahabol na oras. So yun yung mas kailangan magpursige. Kuha. Okay? If you have a timetable, if you are planning to take the examination at a certain period, which is not your choice, wala kang magagawa kung hindi to accept that fact. That you can't just relax. Pero balansehin mo pa din. Paminsan-minsan, ibot ka din. Paminsan-minsan, take IELTS off your head. Alisin mo siya sa isip mo. Imagine, pagbalik mo na, nag-practice ka, iba ka. You feel much more rejuvenated. Okay? Pahipahinga din, be. Alright? Mga brad, pahipahinga din. Mukha na kayong 43. Mukha pa kayong matanda sa akin at may bigote ko. Okay? So, at least 5 ha? The one-on-one coaching, writing and speaking it. Another common mistake, hindi nagbabasa ng newspaper. Hindi nanonood ng mga interviews. Please, do them. Not just do them at your convenient time. Do it often. Make reading a habit. Okay? Make reading a habit. Tignan nyo, ginawa ko to, 2021, 11,000 pesos lang exam. Ngayon, 14K. Grabe inflation rate. No? Okay. Writing mistakes. GT, taas kamay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, GT. Full block from opening to closing. Don't put the address and the name of the recipient at the top part of your letter. Don't forget the commas. Answer all the bullet points. And know who you are writing for. Sabi nga natin, GT, your life depends on your bullet points. If you miss or misinterpret a bullet point, do not ever expect that your score will even make it to 5. Hindi haabot ng 5 yan. Just one bullet point. Nakalagay sa letter. Write a letter to the accommodation officer asking for a change of your room. Bullet point 1. Describe the problem. Tapos bullet point 2. Why is it difficult to work with your roommate? Bullet point 3, say what kind of accommodation you would prefer. So you were able to include the problem, you were able to explain how difficult it is to live together with your roommate because you have very different studying habits. That's what you included in your letter. And in the third bullet point, you didn't even, hindi ka man lang nagpahapyaw na gusto kong magpalipat, gusto kong magpaiba ng room. Wala kang nilagay na gano'n sa letter mo, bagsak. Do not ever even think na aabot ng 5 yun. Kahit kompleto yung number of words, kahit polish ang vocab and grammar, hindi po aabot. Bullet points, yun po nakadepende ang pagpasa natin. Okay? So, ito po ang mga types ng letters. Ano po ang pinaka-common? Letter of complaint. Reklamo. Write a letter of complaint to the accommodation agency. Write a letter of complaint to the bus company. Write a letter of complaint to the cellular service operator. Puro doon. Ano pa? Sa informal letter, invitation ang pinaka-common. Write a letter of invitation to your cousin, inviting him to your 32nd birthday 2 months from now. Ganun. So, may dalawa tayong types ng letter. We have formal or informal. Formal and informal. Dalawa. Anong mas common? Formal, informal? Formal. So, mas malabas si formal kaysa kay informal. So, kung magpa-practice ka, ano dapat mas madalas na ipa-check mo sa akin? Formal or informal? Okay. How often do formal letters appear? How more frequent formal letters appear than informal? Sa tatlong formal, isang informal. So, 75-25. 3-4. 3 out of 4 letters. So, kung may 8 shares kami dito, 6 ang formal, 2 lang ang informal. So, ibig sabihin ba nun, hindi na ka magpa-practice ng informal? Mag-practice ka pa rin. Kasi baka, hahaluin yun. Okay, sa'yo na tapat. Puro formal pin-practice mo, hindi ka na pag-practice sa informal. Hindi ka pala magaling doon. Patay. Gets mo? So, para dun sa equal assessment ng both types, you have to do them. But, do formal more frequently since it appears more frequently in the actual test. Clear? Okay. So, dear sir or madam, first paragraph, always include the purpose. Kahit na ito ay formal or informal, ang hindi mo dapat kalimutan dyan is yung purpose. Kaya nga yung phrase or yung sentence, yung introductory statement na, I wrote this letter because, I wrote this letter due, I wrote this letter due to the reason that, I wrote this letter to complain, I wrote this letter to tell you, I wrote this letter to make a request, I wrote this letter, laging nandun. Yan. Because without it, your letter doesn't serve its purpose. It doesn't appear as letter-like as in the real-life scenario. And examiners wouldn't consider this as a writing task worth giving a high score. Ganun lang sila kasimple. Nakukuha. Kaya dyan ako nababad trip talaga pag GT. Pero so far pag nagkaklase kami ng GT, kaya academic, pasensya na, if I have this personal bias that GT, regardless regardless of the batch, regardless of the academic attainment, GT, hindi ko sasabing subservient, di sila masyadong super masunurin, na tumalong ka sa bangin, hindi naman sa ganong point. But when we tell them to follow this instruction, they will follow. That's why I love GT more than academic. Academic, on the other hand, they will force something to you. No? Mapilit ang mga akad. So, first paragraph is the purpose. Always include that. Don't forget that. Kahit mapa-formal or informal yan, nandyan yan palagi. So, succeeding paragraphs, andun yung bullet points. Yung action paragraph, that's going to be your third bullet point. The action you want the recipient of the letter to do. Or perhaps, if necessary, what you would do in the scenario. Kung halimbawa, you are at fault on the imaginary scenario. So, sasabihin mo, anong mga pagbabago yung gagawin mo? Ba, masyadong maingay sa apartment mo, sinilatan ka ng letter. So, you will be writing a letter back, apologizing, and telling the recipient na hindi mo na siya uulitin. So, that's the action paragraph that you would do in that scenario. Tapos, sa optional paragraph, thank you for taking time reading my letter. If you need to contact me, Here's my mobile number. I'll look into it if changes are made. Mga nasa 30 words na yun. Agad. Ilan lang ang task 1? 150. Oh, yung pa lang, busog ka na. 100 na lang ang kailangan mo doon eh. Yung introduction, yung Dear Sir Madam, yung Respectfully Yours. Bilang din yan as a word. Di ba? Closing remarks. So yun lang po ang mistake ng GT. Actually, pag ginagawa ko itong klase na to, sabi ko nga sa mga GT, tapos na sa GT mistakes, magsilabas na kayo. Literal, pwede kayo magmakdo. Kasi mga kalahating oras itong ACAD writing task 1 mistakes. Bukod pa po dun sa 2 kalahating oras na literal academic writing task 1 common mistakes, puro yun lang. Ang lala ng ACAD. Totoo. Ang hirap ng ACAD. Ang hirap maging ACAD. Kaya kayo mga GT, unawaan niyo yung mga kaklase nyo bakit sila masusungit. Ba't sila nagdadabog? Ano ba ha? Sila kaya kayo? Kasi gano'n talaga sila eh. Wala kayong nagagawa. Masungit talaga sila dahil yan ang kailangan nilang harapin eh. Mahirap ang buhay nila talaga. No? Sa GT, madali lang ang buhay eh. No? Yun lang, letter lang. Attend ka lang ng letter. Kaya gugaguhin mo na yun, okay eh. May template nga tayo para dun eh. Di ba? Eh, kay academic, ang malala talaga yan. So, ACAD, bawal mag-copy ng task description. Bakit? Because if you copy the task description, examiners wouldn't think of you as a resourceful candidate when it comes to lexicon. So, yun lang reason bakit tayo hindi nagka-copy ng task description. So, tingnan nyo yung task description dito versus the legitimate paraphrase. We will be changing 4 to 6 words from the task description into your introduction. Kahapon may nagpa-check ng writing. Sabi ko, hindi talaga ako nag-check ng writing na marami. Like, 7 ang pina-check niya na writing. Totoo, nababad trip ako sa ganun. Sabi ko sa kanya. Totoo yun! Sabi ko sa kanya. Alam mo kung bakit? O, tingnan mo ha. Paliwanag ko sa'yo. Check ko pa rin yan. Hindi naman ako magagalit. Binayaran niyo ako. No? Dahil lahat ng problema doon sa una, yun ang lahat ng problema sa lahat. Bakit? Gawa ka ng gawa ng mali. So, gawa ka muna, pa-check mo, alamin mo yung mali, gawa ka ulit, this time, avoid mo na yung mistake. Yun. Kasi yung iba, kailangan paghirapan ko to, gawa ako ng 10 writing task 1, baka makita ni Lord ang mga sakripisyo ko. Hindi po ganon. No? Hindi mo kailangan pahirapan yung sarili mo. Gawa ka ng isa, malaman mo yung mali, gawin mo yung tama, may mali pa rin yun for sure, hindi natin kaya makuha yun in just one go. At mind you, ang daming types ng writing task 1, pwede ko mag-check ng writing task 1. Bar graph, line graph, pie chart, table, process, basta iba-iba siya. Okay? Basta iba-iba. So lahat ng mali nung nagpa-check na yon is puro to. The chart shows. Kung ano yung nasa task description, inulit niya. Ayun nga yung ayaw na ayaw ng examiner. They don't like candidates who copy words from the task description as is. You need to at least change words. You need to somehow change the sentence structure at least, or better, paraphrase to change it completely. Overhaul mo siya. Okay? So, bakit mali ang intro na to? Kinapi lahat, tapos yung word na debts, ang pinalit niya, demises. Ano po ba ang mali sa word na demises? What's wrong with the word demises? What's wrong with the word demises? Ano? Ano? Anong mali sa demises? Ano si demises? Asawang babae. Si Demister at si demises. Matatanda na. Ilan taon ba kayo? Ba't mga joke nyo pang matanda? Ilan taon na kayo? Bata ka. Bata nyo. Pero pang matanda yung mga joke nyo. Alright. Ano ba si demises? Minalas, di ba? Pwede mo ba sukatin yung malas? Academic to. Academic means objective and measurable, observable. You can't observe demise. It's malas. O, ano pwede mo palit sa deaths? Number of deaths. Na academic yung word. Oh. Aba, nag-report. The number of deaths rose to ganito. Ano pwede ipalit sa number of deaths? Hindi pa yung demises. Report. Hoy, earthquake, anong disease? Bindul yan. Bilang na mga namatay, Tagalogin mo, in English mo. Casualties! Di ba? The number of casualties. Ano ba? Mortalities. Okay. Ano? Akad ka. Mga namatay. Letter B. B? Victims!
Expiration.
Oh.
Expired.
Casualties, mortalities, victims. Alright? The figure for casualties, the number of victims, the number of mortalities, fatalities. Wag lang si demise. Nakuha? So, yung papalitan mo na word, wala siya dapat opinion link. Wala siya dapat opinion na flavor. Dapat observable, measurable, para ka nagre-report literal sa TV. Tumaas ang bilang ng mga biktima mula sa 10 na naging 15. The number of victims increased from 10 to 15. Ganun lang. Blunt, flat, no emotions. Kaya pag binasa mong writing task 1 at na-bored ka, that's how you should feel on a writing task 1 because it's a report. And a goddamn report is a fucking boring thing to read. Alang saya sa pagbabasa ng report. So dapat wala talaga emosyon dyan. Okay? Ito po yung sample ko na ginawa. The illustration provides a figure of fatalities due to seismic disturbances, palit sa earthquakes, in 10 different years for 11 countries. Additionally, the strength of the earthquake on the Richter scale is also indicated. Because you have to write 2 sentences. Doon lang naman ako nababad trip sa mga akad pag hindi sila naggawa ng 2 sentences.
Lagi, sir, 2.
Lagi. Sino mo, magtatanong yan ha, pag nagpa-check yan, tas 1 sentence yan, babalik ko sa iyo ha. 2 po talaga. Okay? Static man yan o process. So if you want to learn more about academic writing task 1, kasi nga this is just minor pahapyaw lang to eh. Watch all the replays every Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, may popost ako na replay. I don't know what that is, that's random. Antayin mo, panoorin mo siya. Tuturo ko talaga literal. Kapag bar graph, paano gumawa ng introduction? Pag pie chart, paano gumawa ng introduction? Na 2 sentence. Pag process, ganun din. Pag map, ganun din. I'll give you tips, I'll give you instructions how to manage making an introduction that has 2 paragraphs. While, bawal ka po mag-start ng sentence with while, you better put it in the middle of your sentence. Because while carries, ang role kasi ni while is buhatin ang tinatawag nating dependent clause. So since this is dependent clause, and you put a stop on the sentence, this is no longer a sentence, it's a phrase, and an incomplete sentence is a grammatical flaw, which will be a deduction of your grammar score. So dapat, wala mga grammar errors like those. Minimize. Followed by, ganun din. So, kung gusto mo talaga mag-start ng followed by, ang nawawala kasi kay followed by, pag sinimulan mo siya, wala siyang subject, wala siyang verb. Ang ingredients para nga makagawa ka ng sentence meron kang subject, meron kang verb. Yun lang. Halimbawa, I go. Yun lang I go. Yun lang. Sentence yan. Nakukuha? I should go. Sentence yan. I went. Sentence yan. I was. Sentence na yun. Kasi may subject siya, may verb. Ito, haba-haba, kahit dagdagan mo pa ng marami-marami, hindi magiging sentence yan kasi wala ang subject, wala ang verb. So, paano siya magiging sentence? Kung gusto mo talaga siyang gawin ng followed by, lagyan mo lang, this is followed by. Para maging complete sentence na siya, finally. So, examiners will notice those fragments. Repetitive use of words, look at this example. The person used the word spent quite a few times. So, in order for you not to repeat it, you can change the words with their synonyms. Make sure that it will make sense when you read it, no? Yung splurge kasi, ginagamit mo yan sa paggastos na pinakamalaking gastos. Si allocated, naglaan. So, hindi siya dapat sobrang laking figure. Si expenditure, that is the noun for gastos. And then spent, that is your neutral term, which means gastos. So, you have to vary your words. Kaya nga kapag gumagawa ka ng table, ng paragraph, ng pie chart, lagi ko sinasabi sa mga students, kita mo, sabi ko doon sa lecture iwasan niyo yung mga paggamit ng has, is, was, kasi puro yun na lang ang ginagamit mong verb. May mga tamang verb dyan. Ito ay expenditure. So dapat gamit yun ng splurge, allocated, allotted. The expenses were. Diba? The UK expense, the US expenses allocated for or allotted for education was at 50. Ganun lang naman siya. So bakit puro has? Wala kang ginagamit na ibang verb. Hindi proper yung verb mo, hindi siya academically acceptable. I-report nga ito, ba't puro has? Ngayon, dalawang uri ng pie chart, may gastos, may resource. Sabihin, may palabas, may papasok. Paano pagkuha yun? Di ba? Accounted for, represented by. Saan ko matututunan yan? Kaya nga, academic ka, tuwing Martes, yun ang Sabbath day mo. Manonood ka lang ng replay, yun na yun. Yun lang gagawin mo. Wala akong pakialam, gawin mo siya ng maga, ng tanghali, habang tumatay ka, gabi, bago ka matulog, wala akong pakialam, basta panoorin mo. 2 to 3 hours yan. Yun lang ang gagawin na, hindi mag-lecture. Makinig ng lecture ng academic writing task mo. Block. So dapat, wala na pong indentation, leave a space after every paragraph. Ma'am, actually, even if you don't take photos here, i-upload ko yan as a PDF. Mamaya. Yes. Sayang sa memory kasi siya. Mamaya, mag-selfie ka, tapos picture mo yung pagkain mo sa SM. Saan na nga ulit mga pinicturean ko? Hindi mo na siya ulit makikita. Sayang sa space. Formatting mistakes, not leaving spaces between paragraphs. Dalawang enter Erasing words within sentences and leaving the spaces blank. So mahirap ang formatting issue natin kapag pen and paper based. Leaving blank spaces at the end of sentences when succeeding words can still fit in that space, not observing margins and capitalization. So pag sinabing capitalization, tingnan nyo, eto lang kinapitalize ni candidate itong mga words na to sa introduction. Ilan daw ang mistake para qualified pa rin ako sa 7 sa grammar? 4. Pag lumagpas na, literal, naging 5 ang grammar errors ko. Ano na lang ang score ko doon? 6 to 6.5. Doon maglalaro. Okay? Depende sa gravity ng mali. So, ilan ang mali niya dito? Tignan nyo Capital letter W, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tapos, lahat pa nung babanggitin niya ulit yung sa overview, babanggitin niya ulit sa body, babanggitin niya ulit yung dun sa body paragraph number 2. Lagot na. Ubos. Ubos ang bala mo sa grammar. Literally, sabi nga nila, if you commit grammar mistakes between every other sentence, 5 ka doon. If you commit a grammar mistake every sentence, 4 ka doon. Eh kung lahat yan, mali ang capitalization, 4 ka lang sa grammar. Malinaw? Oh. Eh sir, kinapitalize ko kasi, nakakapitalize siya dun sa task eh. Malaking letter siya eh. Yun na nga eh. Nakakapital letter siya sa task. It doesn't mean that when you put it in sentence form, kakapital letter mo pa rin siya. Pag sinabing web portal o navigation portal, yun yung Google, Yahoo. Kung brand name, dapat i-capital letter mo siya. Kung hindi, edi hindi. Kaya nga may grammar lectures tayo. Si Ma'am Shane nag-conduct ng Grammar 1. Totoo po, pang grade 1 yun. Kaya ayoko nagtuturo ng grammar, wala akong pasensya eh. Diba? Pang grade 1, capitalization. Ano mga salita ang ika-capitalize? Kailan siya ika-capitalize? Paano siya i-capitalize? Kung yun lang, mali ka na, yari ka. Writing, lahat ng kilos mo dito, lahat ng isulat mo, pag nakitang mali, mali. Ganun silang ka-harsh pagdating sa writing. Okay? So, kahit na naka-capital letters yung mga words na to, doon, sa task, they don't mean na dapat capitalize mo rin sila sa output mo. Ka-capital letter mo lang yung mga proper nouns, beginning of a new sentence, at para sa mga GT, pronoun I, laging capital yan. Okay. Yun lang. Ito yung sinasabi ko, may magkakasya pa dito. Kaya mahirap yung pen and paper base, may magkakasya pa dito. Bawa, earthquake, kasya pa dito yung isang salita. Ginawa niya, naisip niya, di kakasya yung buong earthquake eh. Lipat ko na lang dito. So dahil meron kang space dyan, vocab mistake na agad yan. Doon no pen and paper base pa. Kaya hindi ko masyadong pinupush ang pen and paper base kasi ang hirap ng formatting sa writing, literal. So anong gagawin mo noon kung ganyan? So ang gagawin mo ay puputol ka. Bawa, earth, tapos hyphen quick. Hindi naman pwedeng tapos ganito. Kasi dapat ang putol ay syllable. Ibig sabihin, isang bigkas, isang pantig. Bawa, impossible. Pwede mo siyang putulin sa sa pas, tsaka sibo. Sa sib, tsaka sa ball. Yan ang putulan. Diyan mo lang siya pwedeng putulin. Hindi pwedeng, kakasya pa naman ang i. Oh, dito ko na ilagay yung impossible. Hindi pwede. Alright? So you have to observe proper formatting. Ngayon kasi madali na ang formatting kasi naka-auto justified yan. No? Kapag computer-based. Kaya ang dali mag-erase, ang dali mag-adjust. So pag i-erase ganito. So 4, 4, 11, pag in-erase mo yan, uy, kakasya pa yung isang word, oh, mali na agad. Lagot ka. Kaya nga ang erasure natin dapat, strike through lang. Kung pen and paper base walang ganun sa computer base. Kasi computer base, backspace ka lang. Uy, okay? Oh, nalilito ka na naman. So ito po yung ating assessment tool. Literally, have your TA, coherence, vocab, grammar, under length, kung kulang ng words, number of words, penalty, off-topic ba yan, memorized, eligible, gumamit ka ba ng format na nasa Google, hindi maintindihan ng sulat. So another advantage of computer test takers, walang eligible na box. Using all caps, bawal. Misinterpretation of the task, ask yourself the following questions. What is the graph about? How can I best simplify or lengthen the discussion? May na-encounter ako before, ang pinaka-nahihirapan kong task ito. Ang pinaka-nahihirapan kong task, yung task na maikli. Like, meron lang ako doon, life cycle of a chicken. Yung tatlo lang yun. Egg, chicken. Ganun lang. Paano pahabain ng 150 words yun? Di ba? Yun ang challenge. O kaya, mga akad, huwag kayong magsha-shy away sa mga like dalawang bar graph, dalawang pie chart, tatlong line graph na nag-overlap. Huwag kayong panghihinaan ng loob doon. Yun ang masarap gawa ng task. Kasi hindi ka mauubusan ng panglagay. Eh yung life cycle of a frog, hige. Oh, doon ka babawi naman sa detalye. How can you lengthen the discussion? When you say lengthen the discussion, you have to include details. Like at what week nag-appear yung hind legs, at what week umikli yung legs, nagpunta na ba siya sa land, tapos naging adult siya, anong weeks na reach yung ganong maturity.
Pwede po lumabas ng ng 150.
Yes. You can exceed 150. Actually, I encourage you guys to exceed 150. Mapa-akad, mapa-GT. We're looking between 170 and 220. Sa task 2, ganun din. 250 ang minimum, 270 to 320. Because once you exceed the minimum, once you exceed the 220 or 320 naman para sa task 2, parang overkill na eh. Like, people were able to achieve 8, 7.5, 7 in the test just by writing around 320 words. Bakit ka mag-450? Bakit ka mag-600 dyan? And you still have another task to fulfill. You have 2 tasks to complete. Proofread mo pa yan. At kaya ayoko na masyadong mahaba because the more you write, the more likely it is that you will commit a mistake. And the more you write, there's a tendency that you are over-saturating it, over-explaining it, that you are going around the bush already. It becomes repetitive. Diba? Excessively repetitious na siya. Which grouping variables will I use? Sabi, sir, ang hirap-hirap, ang dami-dami naman kasing figure eh. 5 pie chart, sir, ang binigay sa akin eh. Actually, si Sir Irvin, sumugod dyan sa British Council Literal. Sumugod, umiiyak, gagalit yan. Ano, gusto niyo ba talagang ibagsak ang mga estudyante? Sabi niya. 6 na pie chart, bibigay niyo, hindi ba naman kayo mga sangkatutak na gago dyan? Sabi niya. Bakit? Eh, binagsak niyo lang kami sana. Ba't niyo kami bibigyan ng 6 na pie chart? Kasi mula no, nangako sila, hindi na nila ulit gagawin yun. May 6 na pie chart. Naisip niyo ba gano'ng kahirap yun? 6 yung pie chart sa exam. Talagang bumuelta kami. Eh, ang negosyo namin para magpasa ng mga estudyante. Paano ka naman papasa? Kahit kami siguro, eh, maiihi na lang sa salawal doon. Sa hirap. Dahil sa hirap ng binibigay niyong test. Kailangan lang naman namin i-prove yung English skills namin sa inyo. Bakit nyo kami gagawing reporter? Diba? So talagang umaalma kami sa ganon. Yung pagkadami-daming figure. So pag ganong encounter, you have to group percentages, figures, numbers, which are close to one another. Like may 31 ka, may 32, may 34. O sabihin mo, finance, web navigation, and e-commerce accounted for about 1/3 of the revenue for each individual representation. 1/3, tig to 33, almost 1/3, around 1/3. Kasi magkakalapit sila. Between 31 and 34%. Pwede mo ilagay din if you want it like that. Can you employ trending? Si trending para siya sa time. Kung ang time natin ay linear, like you have 1990, 1991, hanggang 2000. We have 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. 4 different years na papatagal, no? Pag sinabing trending, what is the difference? How are they different? Nag-increase ba? Nag-decrease? Sir, walang pagbabago eh. Then say so. There were no significant changes noted throughout the period described. O di ba, napaka-academic pakinggan. Sir, saan ba namin matututunan yan? Manood ka ng lecture tuwing Martes. Nandun. Tune in. Andiyan na, ready na yun. Panonood na yun. Oh. Ako ha? Eh sir, pabago-bago siya. Oh. Parang lagnat. Tut. Oh. There was an erratic pattern. Fluctuating trend. Walang lusot yan. Nagbago? Sabihin mo. Hindi nagbago? Sabihin mo rin. Tumaas? Sabihin mo. Paano ba yung pagtaas niya? Mabagal? Mabilis? Sharply. Gradually. The rate of increase, diba, was slower but no less incessant. Di ba napakasarap pakinggan? Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Oh, bumagal man ang kanyang pagtaas, pero hindi ito humihinto. Saan matututunan yun? Manood ka ating Martes. Tuturo namin sa iyo. Okay ba? Alright. Trying too hard. So, line graph ito. Populasyon ng nakikinig ng radyo at nanonood ng TV. From 6 a.m., 6 to 6, 24-hour period. ng mga taga-UK ng 4 na taong gulang pataas. Sabi nung sample, OA, na overview, careful analysis of the graphs leads one to undeniable surmise. The television is highest in the percentage of watchers, while radio is a bit lower in the study. Well. Ano ba yung mga mali dito? Si careful analysis of the graphs leads one to undeniably surmise. Isang word lang ang papalit natin dyan. Si overall. At yun po ang nag-iisang salita na gustong makita ng mga examiner. Yan lang yun, wala nang iba. Wala ka nang ipapalit dyan sa general overview. Kung saan siya ilalagay, manood ka ng lecture this coming Tuesday. Television. Bakit malaki yung T? Diba? Common noun to, hindi naman to proper noun. So mali. Bakit din malaki yung R ng radio? Diba, 2 grammar error na siya. Television is, tapos na to, 1990 ginawa eh. Nagigets sa point? Was na dapat to. Highest. Bakit naka-superlative ka? 2 lang yung kinukumpara. Higher lang dapat. Tapos a bit lower. In terms of what? Mali naman to ng vocabulary. Mas mababa siya na pinlay sa cabinet. Diba? At what reference are you referring to radio being lower? Placement in terms of what? Audience share? What? You have to explain. Kaya ang daming mistakes niyan. Ngayon, ano ba si overview? Si overview kasi, siya yung, pag sabing overview, overlook. Mag-zoom out ka. Kasi pag naka-zoom in ka, kitang-kita mo yung detalye, tama? Pag naka-zoom out ka, hindi mo kita yung detalye, nakikita mo yung kabuuan. So ano bang una mo makikita? Ano bang una mo mapapansin dyan? Ano una mo mapapansin? Sir, para siyang bundok. Okay. Oh, para siyang bundok. Ano mayroon sa parang bundok? Yung bundok may tuktok eh, di ba? Ang tawag natin dun sa English ay peak. Okay. Yung radio, which is ito, kailan siya nag-peak? Alas 8 ng umaga. Yung TV, kailan siya nag-peak? Alas 6 hanggang alas 8 ng gabi. Ano mas maraming audience? TV or radio? TV! Uy! Tingnan nyo lang ano mas mataas? TV. O ganoon ang overview. Overall, television audience share recorded higher percentage throughout the study. Furthermore, people who tuned in the radio did this activity in the morning, more in the morning, which dwindled throughout the evening. The opposite can be observed in television, which was done more at night. Yun lang. Yun ang overview. Wala kang sasabing figure. Sabi mo lang dyan, mas maraming nanood ng TV, pero gabi nila yung ginagawa. Samantala, yung pakikinig ng radyo naman, mas maraming tao gumagawa nun sa umaga. Pag gabi, wala na masyado. So, ganyan ang overview. Overall, more people watch television than listen to the radio. Tapos, it's the first thing you notice. Mas mataas ang bundok ng TV kaysa sa radyo. Although a greater percentage of the populace did the latter, ano ba yung latter? Nahuli. Radio, in the morning, watching TV recorded more audience at night. Bakit capital letter na yung TV mo? Diba? Dahil abbreviated na siya. So, huwag nyo masyadong gagawin yun, ha? Ginawa ko lang to replace it as a synonym.
Pero mas okay, sir, kung buo.
Buo. Writing each figure, hindi naman po dapat isulat mo rin lahat. Kaya nga sabi ko, kung pie chart yan, sometimes you will use fraction. Kung 25%, a quarter of. Kung siya ay 10%, a tenth. Kung siya ay 20, a fifth. Kung siya ay around 30, a third. Kung siya ay kalahati, half. Kung 51, more than half. Approximately more than half. Pag naman 60, ano meron sa 60? 3/5? Diba? Ano ba? Nag-math ba kayo? Oh. 70. Almost 3/4, 75. 3/4? 3/4? Use fraction, guy. General overview, wala dapat siyang number. Asia had the highest population growth rate at 6.2. Dapat Asia had the highest population growth rate lang, wala nang 6.2. Bawal yung below, bakit? May table ka bang makikita below? Wala. Ang makikita dyan, report, o bakit magagawa ka ng below? So bawal yan. Yun lang po ang hindi ikakopy sa task description. Or hindi i-rephrase. So yung during 1960, during means duration eh. So you have to use the year. During the year, 1960. And it will give you more words. No? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Kasama yung 1960. Okay pa? Not only for better word count, but a better, much more overall grammatical viewpoint. In the year 1960. Kung gusto mo ng year lang, in lang yan. Kuha, para doon sa preposition of time naman natin. Questions for writing task 1. Questions sa writing task 1? Punta tayo sa writing task 2. Okay? Nag-enjoy ba kayo? Mga nasa Zoom, diragdagan tayo. We have John, Kurt, Melo, Michiko, Mirna, and Natalie. Si Mirna lagi, no? Mirna lagi kitang nakikita sa Zoom, ano? Taga saan ka ba, Mirna? Sige, interviewin mo natin. Hindi naman ako nagmamadali, di ba? Alam na kung bisita na gantay sa akin. So, sige, makapagdaldalan muna tayo. I-stalk na natin si Mirna sa Facebook. Kasi gusto kitang makilala, Mirna, no? Mirna, kahit hindi ka pumunta dito, pagka pumasa ka, pangako mo, dadalawin mo ako dito, ah. Mirna. Stalk nga natin si Mirna. Mirna. Wala. Wala ka ba sa group, Mirna? Ba't wala ka sa group, Mirna? Hindi kita makita. Siguro iba yung pangalan ni Mirna. Sa daan sarili, lapit mo lang pala. Hindi ka pa magpapasok. Ang sakay lang ng jeep yan eh. Ito ka na sa terminal eh. Kahit anong pabalik ng terminal, diyan ka lang uminto sa kanto ng McDo eh. Tatawid ka eh. Ito ka na. Alright! Task description, this example. Gadgets such as cars, refrigerators, and televisions. Nakapasok na daw siya. Have become must-haves. This is beneficial to society. Do you agree or disagree? So, what's wrong? Bakit ayaw ni Drake itong gadgets such as cars, refrigerators, and televisions have become must-haves? Dahil, ito yung, ano ba yan? Turo ko na naman. Ito yung task description, ito yung introduction. Bakit ayaw ni Drake? Bakit? Kinopya lang. No copying of task description because examiners will think of it as repetitive, you're not resourceful, pabawasan nila ang vocabulary score mo. At kapag nag-such as, nag-like, for example ka sa introduction, maling-mali po yun. Kasi ang goal ng introduction is to generalize, to present the general theme, to provide a general overall perspective of what is expected to be discussed later, to be elaborated later. So no to enumerations. very early on. Ang such as, pag-like, for example, sa body yan, papasok. Ito mismo! May sample ako dyan ah! Okay. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Ito, may sample ako nun, no? Ayan, no? Yan yung introduction na gagamitin natin. The increasing reliance of modern society on the efficiencies brought about by technology has led to the widespread use of gadgets and their incorporation into everyday life. Some of these tools have become so widely used that possessing them has become a necessity to function effectively. Although there are advantages to this, I support the idea that it does more harm than good to the community. Ayan yung example. Ang gumawa niyan, si Sir Philip Edward Aitona, nakakuha siya ng 8.5 sa writing. Ipapakita ko ba yan kung hindi bigatin ang score niya? Diba? Bakit shallow content? Sabi dito, we cannot live without them. People cannot live without them. We find ourselves unable to survive without them. That basically means the same thing. And what's missing is your stand. There's no stand. At kapag walang stand, opinion type ang yung essay, it ruins the credibility of your overall essay response to suffer. It makes the overall expression of your essay response to suffer. So, kailangan po may stand kapag required. So, saan ba required ang stand? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? To what extent do you agree, disagree? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, better. In terms of transportation, people have become very dependent on vehicles such as cars and other forms of public transportation for them to be able to get to their destinations. Without these vehicles, people have no choice but to walk, which takes a very long time to do. So ito pong idea na to is pro naman sa technology. Ito kasing introduction ni Sir Philip, against siya sa technology. Advertisements put pressure on children to buy objects like food and toys. Parents blame ads for the negative effect on children, while advertisers say they provide useful information. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Commercial. Yung daw commercial, pinipressure daw niya yung mga bata na bumili ng food at saka ng toys. Sabi naman ng mga parents, talagang sinisisi namin yan. Sabi naman ng advertisers, they provide useful information. Which is which, diba? So you have to discuss, you have to present ideas. But you have to avoid giving your opinion very early on kasi hindi siya kailangan. Ang opinion mo dito, since this is discuss both views, should only materialize in the conclusion. Okay? Ganyan po ang mga sample questions ha, sa exam. Inappropriate vocabulary sample. Commercial advertisements. Ano pong mali sa commercial advertisements? What's wrong with that? Ano, para mas mukha pa kayong puwet sa akin ah.
Parang parehas ako.
Parang parehas lang. Parehas lang talaga sila. Ang commercial at advertisement ay isa. So you should have you should have picked only one. So commercial lang, advertisement lang. Para mamaya naman yung isa. In the boob tube. Ano ba yung boob tube? Alam mo yung boob tube? Ha? Kumatawa ka. Para may alam tayo. Ano, na-aching ka lang ba? Wala. Ikaw, kaya alam niyo yung boob tube? Alam mo? Hindi? Tapos na po ang klase, wala po nakakaalam dito sa klase ko. Ang boob tube is television sa UK. So pag nasa UK ka, hindi nila alam yung TV, ang alam nila boob tube. Diba? Pero pag pumunta ka sa baba, sabi mo sa tricycle driver, Kuya, alam mo ba yung boob tube? Ay, bastos ka. Diba? Parang porn site yan ah. Kasi, bawal tayong gumamit ng mga terms na nag-i-exist lang sa certain region, kahit English pa siya. And what's worse, kapag nagsulat ka ng essay at ang dami niya mga Filipino terms, yung mga gumagamit pa ng terms sa essay nakalagay, people in the Philippines show respect to the elderlies by using pagmamano and using po and opo. Eh lahat yun, Filipino terms eh. So kahit na sa Filipino pride, you should have refrained from using terms. Inappropriate ang vocab na yan. Okay? To publicize a particular product. In this way, the vast plethora, actually si vast plethora, magandang pakinggan, but they mean the same thing too. Vast means marami, plethora means marami. Diba? Pag sabi mo, plethora of choices, marami kang pagpipilian. Vast number of choices, marami ka pa rin pagpipilian. Particular product, puro ka particular product, redundant, repetitive. Okay? Through advertisements, we. Okay. Here's the thing. Bakit bawal daw ang paggamit ng we? Sabi ni Sir Ken. Sir, ba't bawal ang we? Ano tayo? Hindi ako kasama. Ang we means first person plural. Ikaw, ako, magkakasama. Eh, hindi ka pala kasama. Sila lang. Tama. Sila lang yun. Hindi ka kasali. Yung nagbabasa, hindi rin kasali. The topic is about the people involved. So, for example, the topic is about criminals. Magbibi ka ba? Bakit criminal ka ba? The topic is about animals being used as test subjects. Bakit hayop ka ba? Ba't ka magbibi? Rabbit ka ba? Diba? So, no. Kuha. So, avoid using informal pronouns. Si pronouns, ginagamit ko lang yan minsan. As much as possible, you have to come up with an effective synonymous representation muna before you use pronoun. And the pronoun should be plural, third person. Them, they, their, they are. Okay. Manufactured artifacts. What's wrong with manufactured artifacts? Si Brad, ikaw, anong mali sa manufactured artifacts? Una, ano ba yung artifacts?
Hindi naman manufacture.
Hindi naman manufacture yung artifacts. Bakit? Ano ba yung artifacts?
Mga dating.
Mga gamit na luma na nagre-represent sa history. Halimbawa, ballpen ni Rizal. Diba? Takuri na ginamit ni Cleopatra. O, brick ni Judas. O, sutur ni Judas. Alright? Yung mga relics of the past. Ibig sabihin, they represent a period of the past which make us people of the present appreciate the history even more. Ang manufacture ay para lang yan sa saan? Sa mga products. Diba? So dapat, instead of manufactured artifacts, dahil mali ang ginamit mong synonym, products dapat yan. Innumerable recompenses and remunerations. Wow, sarap pakinggan, pero it doesn't make any sense. Kasi isa lang pong ibig sabihin niya. Innumerable, hindi mabilang. Recompense, kabayaran. Remuneration, kabayaran. In our diurnal lives. Wow. Pakalalim. No? Hindi po dapat malalim. Sobrang lalim ng mga words na ginagamit. Refrain from using highfalutin words. Mamaya makikita niyo mismong examiner ko ang nag-quote nun. Let your students know you don't want to see any highfalutin words. You do a plethora.
So it's okay to
Freedom.
use common words.
Exactly. I had students who got 8 in the test, 7.5, 7 even. Even Sir Irvin, even Sir Philip, Sir Brian, who got 9 in the test. Wala silang ginamit ang mga kakaibang words. Bawa sabi mo, instead na big, gagawin ko gargantuan. Bawa, punta sa McDo. Can I order a humongous fries and partner to like gargantuan Coke? Diba? Ano makakaintindi sa'yo? Diba? Oh, make it minus Q. Ano makakaintindi sa'yo? So this should represent your vocabulary interpretation, not to flex, but to inform the general public. Kasi hindi ma-i-impress ang examiner sa mga bato mo ng mga words na kakaiba. Dahil mga linguists yung mga yan. What matters more to them, sabi dun sa diniscuss natin kahapon sa lecture, kung natatandaan nyo, ano yung goal natin sa vocabulary? No repetitions, no redundancies, walang insert ng mga uncommon, highfalutin words. Proper sentence structure, varied sentence structure, yun ang mas importante sa kanila under vocabulary management. So, one good example of this technique is by enlisting. Si enlist ay para yan sa militar. The prevalent celebrities. Sino po mga nurse dito? Meron? Wala. Ano ba yung prevalent? Pag sinabing prevalent. Ano yung sabihin ng prevalent? About the prevalence of dengue. Dengue cases are prevalent today. Bawa, prevalent. Ano sabihin yan? Napapanahon. Okay? Napapanahon. So sabi mo, prevalent celebrities. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Uso. Mauso ang dengue. Usong mga celebrities. Pinaghalo mo yung medical term na prevalent at yung usual term na celebrities. Hindi sila tugma. Bakit? Dengue ba yung celebrity? Para gamitin mo siya as prevalent? Hindi siya dapat prevalent. Ano? Papalit natin dyan. Popular, famous, well-known. Okay? Kilala, sikat. To sanction. Tingnan nyo kung gaano ka-weird to ha. Sanction such products. Ang gagawin daw natin, kunin natin yung service ng isang celebrity. Tapos sabihin niya na, itong produkto na to, sabi ng Tide, kaya niyang paputiin lahat eh. Pucha, binabad ko yung itim kong damit, paglabas itim pa rin, hindi pumuti eh. So dapat, palu-paluin natin yung, nagigets yung gaano ka-weird. It doesn't make sense. The sentence doesn't make any sense. English yan lahat, pero walang sense. So we don't sanction the products. Ang dapat idea dyan is that we should encourage celebrities to promote products people should use and discourage potential customers from utilizing items that will cause them harm. Instead, o di ba, in that way, mas naintindihan nyo. Nakukuha, it's about how you deliver the message, how the message was conveyed to the reader, and how the reader requires extra effort or didn't require any effort at all trying to understand what you just said, what you just wrote. Okay? Yun po yung tinatawag na easily digestible, madaling tunawin, madaling kagatin, madaling nguyain. Di ba? Easy to crunch, easy to digest. Test takers use language that does not contribute to clarity in communication. May mga gumagamit pa nga ng iba, status quo, ergo, ad infinitum, res ipsa liquitura, traison detra. Those are Latin phrases, which are not English ones. So, even though it's Filipino, even though it's Latin phrase, they are not English terms, they're going to be a grammatical mistake. Some use big words, bucolic, quintessential, humongous, gargantuan, flabbergasted. No, don't use those words. Ang isa sa mga clue ko para hindi gumamit ng mga ganyan na word, pag sobrang haba, ang hirap i-spell out, hindi yan gagamitin ko. Quintessential, ang hirap i-spell niya. Pwede namang essential na lang, but quintessential pa. Okay. Tignan niyo, sabi ng examiners, advise candidates, use simple English rather than complicated. No to big words and don't forget to cite examples. Sa kanila po mismo nanggaling to. Note mula sa British Council at IDP, the test-giving bodies of IELTS. Sabi nila, sama-sama na kami makakita ng mga ganyan. Hindi kami natutuwa. Kinababagsak lang lalo ng estudyante yan. So instead na gumamit ka ng mga malalalang na term, hindi naman namin ma-appreciate, mas ma-appreciate pa na nagbigay ka ng example na lang. Wrong conclusion, personally, I believe I have to say that I agree, haba naman. Tapos, bawal kang mag-example sa conclusion. Summary na nga to eh. Ano pa? The government. Oh, walang kaabog-abog. Wala namang kinalaman yung government kanina sa body. Bakit biglang may bagong idea kang pinasok dyan? So, your conclusion should just reflect the summary of everything. The last sentence could perhaps be a call to action. That's where you can input an entity that could help relieve the situation. Tingnan niyo yung sample na to ha, medyo malalim. The society owes much of its progress to the capabilities given to it by technology, but communities prosper primarily not by the strength of its tools, but by the passion and ingenuity of those who use them. Wala akong problema dyan sa neutrality ng words dyan. Pero yung assert that the nation allows its fascination with machines to victimize its men, cripples itself with a disability that is ultimately self-destructive. Medyo may mga medium to highfalutin words na siya. So instead, binago ko lang siya ng konti. In conclusion, the society continues to progress due to the capabilities given to it by technology. However, communities can only be more prosperous if the people will give value to the use of technological tools rather than its fascination to machines that will only create division among the citizens. A future where a society works in unison through the proper use of advanced tools should be the common goal of all. So, much easier to understand. So pronoun use, I is commonly used for introduction and conclusion. We should be avoided in the body paragraph. Pwede siya sa conclusion. Hindi ko sinasabing bawal siya ha. Pag you're trying to make a stand in the conclusion, you want to include yourself in the scenario, you can use we, them, and they used to replace the common nouns, people, individuals, students, etc. Just as long as it's plural. It is for replacement ng singular subject. So especially po, dapat nasa loob siya ng sentence. It should be within the sentence itself. With all these advantages, the internet is indeed an indispensable tool to humanity. However, due to the dangers it poses to people, especially the youth, many people are still wary of this. So, yung it mo, which references internet, is masyado na siyang malayo. So, dapat, dahil isang paragraph na po ang pagitan nila, kahit na literal, ito lang yun, dapat introduce mo ulit si internet dito. Or better, come up with another term for internet like web browsing or World Wide Web for that matter. Bawal po yung mga I don't, wasn't, bawal yung mga yan. Okay? Kailangan po unabbreviated. I do not. Was not. Going to. Yan. Tense inconsistencies. May past tense ka dyan. May present ka dito. Past simple. Present simple. Has not been. This is present perfect. Ang goal natin is to present a unified idea per paragraph. There will be occasionally inserts of a past tense. Kasi when you're comparing events which took place in the past, of course, you will be using in the past, people were, in the past, people used to, but now, they do not anymore. So, gagamit ka paminsan-minsan ng pa. But that's just it. You don't have to use present perfect, complicate your tense. Simple tenses will do. Okay? Stand is not justified. Ibig sabihin, sinabi mo yung answer mo, I agree, but you didn't explain why. Why there is a need for an argument here. Bakit ka mag-a-agree? Kasi importante to. No? So in conclusion, knowledge from books and from experience have their own significance. Pareho silang may importansya. Pero, may pipiliin ka. I find knowledge from experience more valuable as it encompasses every aspect of learning. It is also deeply inculcated within an individual that can either be used in many life situations or perhaps be passed down to others. One sentence, one paragraph. Ilan daw po ang minimum number of sentences per paragraph? 2. Okay? 2 po. Interrogative sentences. Bawal po ang question mark, exclamation marks. Bawal ang mga interrobang, yung magkasama silang dalawa. No to complicated. Punctuation marks. Okay? Period, comma, apostrophe. May gumagamit ng semicolon, pero kaya mong maka-8 kahit wala nun. Okay? Kung kaya nga nila maka-8 nang walang semicolon, bakit di mo kaya? Diba? Hindi po semicolon ang basihan. Even yung M-dash. No? Sino lang ba madalas gumamit ng M-dash? ChatGPT. Diba? Kung mapapansin nyo, halos lahat ng mga pinapa-ChatGPT may mga mahabang M-dash. Which means, ito yung meaning nun. Kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ng mga caption namin, puro may M-dash kasi ChatGPT lahat yun. Kasi tinatamad kami. Tamad kami. Speaking mistakes. Questions writing. May tanong ba? Any questions at all? What about you guys there over Zoom? May tanong po. Si John, Kurt, Melo, Michiko, Mirna, and Natalie. May tanong po kayo sa writing before we proceed to speaking. Wala? Wala. So hometown is not your place of birth. So when you were asked, what is your hometown? This is where you grew up with. Your place of birth is literally where you were. Diba? Thrown out of the world. Where you were excreted. Excreted talaga. By your parents, by your mom. For me, gumamit po tayo ng mga phrases na to. Tinanong ha, pag nag-speaking tayo next week, tinanong ko kayo, hey, what is your opinion about this? What can you say about this? Do you like doing this? Gumamit ka for me. Personally, I think, in my opinion, nakukuha, gamit ka na because I want to hear how you represent yourself in those phrases, in those situations. Tinanong ka, Kevin, do you think that the type of activities you do depend heavily, excuse me, on what the weather is? Personally, weather is one of the important factors I consider whenever I consider what to do today. For example, if I'm going to do some outdoor light runs with my friends, if it is raining, then I'd rather invite them to have a badminton match with me instead. So definitely, not just the way I plan my activities ahead, but also the type of clothes that I will wear. Because it feels so weird wearing jackets if it's not raining or if it's not cold outside. And it feels awkward if you don't put any coverings in you if it's raining heavily. Or the footwear that you use is not particularly made for that kind of weather. So, I really believe that weather is one of the important factors I personally consider whenever I plan my activities ahead. Ganon ang pagsagot sa speaking. Okay? Ganon ang pagsagot nyo next week. You see, planning is shit. Alright? Global warming is heating up of the Earth's atmosphere that leads to climate change. Globalization, on the other hand, this is the improvement of relationship between countries for economic and political benefit. Okay. Pronunciation ng F, ng V, P, at saka B. Spatially versus specially. Foreseeable, foreseeable. Various, various. Pollution, pollution. So you have to pronounce your words. Ang key natin dyan is to enunciate, dinidiinan. The slower you go, the better pronunciation you allow yourself to do. Diba? Don't rush. Hi, my name is Kevin. It's nice to meet you. Kevin, tell me about your hometown. Well, my place of residence isn't far from here. It's just about 5 to 10 minutes, right? So I changed my place of residence just 3 years ago because now I'm residing here in Cabanatuan City together with my wife and my son. But my previous hometown was situated 17 kilometers here, which is in Gapan City. They are very different cities, even though they're both cities. I actually miss going to Gapan. That's why every week I ask my wife if I can visit my folks quickly. So the type of community that I belong today is very quiet. The neighbors are friendly, they're very warm, they're very welcoming. Unlike my previous hometown, so noisy, so crowded, and people shout at one another all the time, which I kind of miss sometimes. Diba? Am I able to give you a picture of what my hometown is versus what my previous hometown was? Diba? Na-imagine nyo, that's the key. You have to let the examiner imagine things from your perspective. You manipulate them. Not answering the question, napakahilig po ng mga Pilipino dyan sa hindi pagsagot sa tanong. Mga open-ended, mga yes or no questions. Tinanong, nasaan ka na? Ang sagot, malapit na ako. Kumain ka na ba? Yes or no lang. Ang sagot, busog pa ako. Mamaya na lang. Diba? Ang weird. So, kailan tayo bibili? Diba? Hindi pa naman natin kailangan. Pwede naman, tsaka na lang, o kaya bukas na lang siguro. So, diba? We don't want to answer questions directly. And worse, ang daming yes or no question na tinatanong na examiner. Huwag kang mapafall sa yes or no trap na tinatawag. Merong isang estudyante nagpa-coach sa akin noong Thursday. Talagang chinita ko eh. Ismoso kasi ako guys. Kaya papakoach sa akin kasi pagbibida ko sa lahat yan. Hindi naman siya pumasok ngayon eh. Pag-usapan natin siya. So, sabi ko, alam mo, galing mo sa first few questions. Pero nung pinaulanan kita ng yes-no questions, puro yes-no lang sa that's a problem. Kasi examiners, that's their trap. Paano ka nila ibabagsak? Paano kita ng yes or no questions and see how you can lengthen the conversation. Di ba rin, do you like listening to music? Yes. Tapos na. Di ba? Or susunod na question, yes ulit. Susunod na question, yes na naman. So nakatatlong yes ka. Di ba? Eh, lahat na yun, repetitive. Wala ka na bang ibang way to confirm the affirmative instead of saying yes? Pwede naman, I believe so. I think so. Do you like eating spicy food? I'm not a fan of spicy food because I don't find the taste appealing. Especially, I don't like the feeling of burning sensation in my mouth, even in my stomach. I was rushed to the hospital once because of the irritation I encountered. I vomited so much, I got dehydrated because of a spicy dish that I ate. And I won't forget that event. That's why I refrain from eating spicy dishes. Kaya ako yun. Hindi ako mahilig sa mga. Ikaw, kung talagang gusto mong kumain ng siling buhay, ikaw yun. Magkaiba tayo, di ba? That's speaking for you. We're different breeds. Iba-iba tayo, kanya-kanya tayo. Kuha? Kung kayo, kaya nyo kumain ng sili. Ako, hindi. Kaya ko naman kumain ng isang buong cake. Kaya mo ba yun? Kaya ko kumain ng isang buong ice cream. Kaya mo ba yun? Diba? Makikipagyabangan ka lang sa akin. Siguro doon mo may yayabang ka. Okay? The Filipino accent. Masyadong galit ang Filipino accent eh. Galit tayo sa R. Santa Rosa. Diba? Burgos. Laging parang antindi ng R eh. Sabi nga nila, malalaman mo kung may Pinoy dun sa paligid. Pag nag-uusap-usap sila, para sila mga galit. Galit to. No? So, lambingan nyo ng konti. Examiners, naka-earphones yan, tapos maririnig nila parang galit. I like eating spicy. I love the burning sensation. No? Ito kagalit, ito sumisigaw pa. Raulo kaya ito. Diba? Lambingan nyo yung butay na lang. No? Dapat chill. Imagine nga, sabi ko nga sa mga students, imagine that this is like your old friend and yourself having friendly conversations. Like, di kayo nagkita ng matagal. Chikahan lang. Catching up sa coffee shop. Ganun lang ang usapan dito. O kaya, imagine nyo, nagiinuman kayo ng examiner. You like eating spicy food? You know what? Spicy food is the best. You know what, pare? Like you shot some gin and you eat some adobo. Fucking shit, bro. Okay? Huwag naman parang lasing. Okay? Imagine lang, nagiinuman kayo. Huwag naman lasing na agad. Umpisa pa lang eh. Papaking shit ka na dyan. Again ha, bawal po ang bad words. Ha? Bawal. Digressing. What are your views about profit and financial security? Sabi mo, well, me personally, my profit is great because I earn at least like 70,000 per month. Di ka pa nga sure? No? Pag sinabing digressing, you're not sure. You sound like you aren't sure. So Kevin, what are your views about profit and financial security? In my opinion, ganun siya personally, I think, in my opinion, profit and financial security is not directly important when it comes to how a person handles his or her money. Because someone who earns 100,000 pesos in a month, but his or her lifestyle requires that person to live beyond his or her means, wouldn't get profit from the salary. If you compare it with someone who earns 5 times less, let's say the minimum salary is 20,000 pesos in a month, and the person uses half of the salary for investments, saving money for the future, I think the latter would be able to achieve financial security better than higher profit. So it is about a person's financial knowledge, how to invest, how to grow the money, not just how big your salary is to begin with. Alam mo sa akin, ganun lang, di ba? Ganun lang yung dating nun eh. Alam mo sa akin, kahit na malaki pa sahod mo, 100,000 yan, ang gastos mo naman, 120, umusobra ka pa, hindi ka makakaipon. Para nagkakwentuhan lang tayo. Alam mo, hindi tayo makakaipon pag ganyan. Starbucks tayo, Starbucks. Hindi tayo nabili ng mga luxury items. Doon tayo ng ino, yosi tayo na yosi. Pero kung may 20 mil ka, 5,000 mo, tinatabi mo, in-invest mo. Simpleng investment. Magkano ba isang pares ng kambing? Pinaraan mo, binenta mo. Oh. Okay? Pinalago mo sa bangko. Pag-ibig fund ka. O, kumita, lumago. O, kumpara mo after 10 years. Yung dalawang example natin. Mas malapit sa financial security, yung mas maliit na sahod, kaysa dun sa mas malaki. Dahil yung isa, mas matipid, at mas may alam paano palaguin pera niya. Parang mangi-scam dito. Kaya investing sa akin ng mga pera niya. Ano yun? 10K mo, gagawin yung 10K ko. Alright? Not answering incomplete sentence. What is your favorite food? Pizza! No, burger. Diba? Mo order ka lang? So, kailangan buo. Pizza is my favorite food. I like eating pizza. I love eating pizza. Because never ever forget the reason why you chose that as your answer. Kaya tinanong ka na, do you like listening to music? No. Bakit? Diba? Huwag na tayong magtanong ng bakit. What's the reason? Anong dahilan? Let us know. Because the examiners want to know. Literally. What is your favorite food? That is a wide range question because I enjoy a vast variety of food. But I have to pick one. I would say that my favorite food is lumpiang Shanghai. Haba-haba lang sinabi mo, lumpia lang pala sasabihin mo. Wala tayong pakialam ha. Kung favorite mo talaga yung lumpia, kasi putya, favorite ko yan. No? Tuwing nag-anniversary po ang minor, sa tuwing September yon, nagluluto po ako talaga ng lumpia. Ako mismo nagbabalo ng lumpia. Para sa mga estudyante, pinagluluto ko ng lumpia. Kasi nga, paborito ko yung sinishare ka. Tuwing September po ang ating... September ba? April? No? Hindi ko na alam. April ata. Nagluluto po kami literal ng lumpia. Pag academic, ganyan lang kaliliit yung lumpia.
Oh, okay.
Eh, ayoko nga sa academic eh. Pag GT, sinlaki ng lumpiang sariwa yung ano. Yung lumpia. Okay? So, ano bang mali sa lumpia? Tagalog yun eh. Di ba? Favorite food is adobo. Sabi ng student, sir, Englishin ko na lang yung favorite food ko. Sitting chicken, exploding fish. Pinaputok na tilapia. Pinaupong manok. Hindi po ganon. You don't have to translate them literally. Okay? So prepare. Ano bang favorite food mo? Ano bang English nun? And if you can't translate them in English, tell the examiner about the ingredients, how to cook and prepare the dish. That way, na-mention mo nga yung favorite dish mo in Filipino term, but we're able to explain it in English translation. Bawa, kare-kare. That's ox tripe in peanut sauce with sauteed shrimp paste. O kung ito ay dinuguan, pork and blood stew. Kung pinumis with tamarind leaves. Sinampalukang manok. O broiled chicken in tamarind leaves. Diba? Describe the letter you find hard to write. I find it hard to write the letter Q. Puta, anong bata ba? Because there's something in the letter Q, maybe it's the tail, that makes it difficult, or you just have a hard time writing round shapes. Naman, di mo pala naiintindihan yung tanong, letter daw. Hindi letra, kundi anong sulat ang nahihirapan mong gawin. Confirm. You mean letter in the alphabet or a kind of letter? Oh, it's kind of letter. Okay. So if it's kind of letter, I find it hard to write resignation letter. Sometimes, if I have spent years in the company already, and if I'm bidding goodbye, it's not just me saying goodbye to the work itself, but to the routine that I've developed, the behavior, the people I was able to work with for those years, which made working bearable. It's really hard to say goodbye. Sabihin mo. Describe yourself. Huwag madaming I am. Repetitive yon. Clarification. Why is the hole of the manhole round? Come again? I'm sorry? Pardon? So, bawal po yung mga pagtatanong yan, ha? Literal po, kapag tayo ay nagko-coaching, kung natatandaan nyo, tinatanong ko kayo ng malabo. Tapos sasabi mo, ha? Ganun ba ang pagpapaulit? Sabi ni... Ha? Ano, sir? Sige, ganyan ba? Okay? Hindi po ito papulutan ng muka. English po ito, your ability to communicate in English. So, sinasadya nila yan, na labuan, para makita nila, malaman nila, how would you ask for clarifications of questions? So, dapat nandun yung galang. Dahil yung mga examiner po, alam ko, matatanda na kayo. Mukha na kayo mga 40 at 50. Pero, mas matatanda pa rin yung examiner sa inyo, mga 65 na dyan. Yung naka-wheelchair pa nga examiner, ayaw pa rin bumitaw sa trabaho niyo. Natalaga na ma'am. No? Oo. Mapasok ng wheelchair. Puting-puti na yung buhok. Alright? Okay, pause lang tayo saglit. Dapat. Tapos, saan? Sige pa, anong oras po ba kayo pupunta? Sige po. Sino po susundo kay sir? Okay. Sige pa. Di ko po sure, baka sumunod na lang po kami dahil kasama niyo po ba si Kai? Si V po. Sige po, yung po kasing sasakyan na Lapanggas eh. Papagasan ko po sana muna bago ako dumiretso eh. Sige pa. Sige pa. Sige pa. Nahanap na ako. Okay. So, can you please repeat the question? I'm sorry I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat it? Thank you. Asking the examiner, like, what is your name? My name is Kevin. What about you? No? Huwag ka magtatanong pabalik, ha? Kasi ang ini-interview ay ikaw at hindi siya. Nagkakaintindihan? You don't ask questions back. How old are you? I'm 32. What about you? You look old. Ma-offend sa'yo yan, ha? Huwag mo silang tatanungin. Don't ask them back. Kevin, what do you think about shopping for leisure? Are you in favor of the idea? I dislike the idea of shopping for leisure because this inspires excessive consumerism. People need to consider what they just want versus what they really need. Although entertaining, shopping for leisure may cause financial instability if we spend beyond our means. Ganon ang mga sagutan sa exam. Reading mistakes. True, false, not given, yes, no, not given. It's not the same as TFNG, yung abbreviated forms nila. So read the instructions carefully. Write no more than 2 words. Individual articles written. Remove the article. Remove the participle. Yung articles a, an, or the. Yung pronoun his, her, its. Tapos yung participle, pwede pong tanggalin yan. Because participles function as adjectives. So excessive adjectives, adverbs, modifiers can be removed. But don't remove all, ha? Kasi we need the identity pa din nung answer mo. Match the corresponding number of heading to the paragraph. So, kung paragraph 2 yun, tapos ang sagot mo dapat ay Roman numeral 2, baka mamali ka. So, mga ganun, madaming nagkakaroon ng mistakes. Listening mistakes, not following directions, 3,000 to 4,000, this is 3 words. Because, ang sabi doon sa write no more than 3 words and or a number, yung kasi mga group of numbers na yan, they are quantified as a unit or as a word. Kaya, 1, 2, 3. 3 words yan. Eh nakalagay, write no more than 2. Kaya yung 2 mo, pwede mo siyang gawing hyphen. Clear? Okay. That way, hindi na siya magiging word. Formatting issue, kung may nakalagay na po siyang unit of measurement, there's no need for you to put one anymore or to repeat the word form na naman. Okay? Ang correct answer lang doon ay 10. So, always read the instruction. All caps. Pwede ba mag-all caps? Sagot, yes or no? Yes, it's better to write your answers in all caps pag listening and reading because kung ang sagot mo ay St. Peter's Cathedral, tapos maliit ang P mo, pero kung kinapital letter mo lahat yan, wala kang problem sa capitalization. Nakukuha? Yan. So, ang bottom line, lagi pong mag-all caps. Formatting, walang problema. Spaces and hyphens are no longer necessary. What's important is the sequence. Kailangan ka lang mag-aalis ng hyphens and spaces kapag write no more than 1 word. Kasi kapag pinutol-putol mo yan, pwedeng ma-quantify as a unit yan. So, since ayaw natin nun, kahit na narinig mo nagputol dun sa audio, 788-909-653. Huwag ka maglalagay ng hyphen kung write no more than 1 word yun. And or a number, yun po ang ibig sabihin yan. Sa date, kung ano mismong narinig mo, but make sure na sinusundan mo yung format. May nauna na pala dong example dun sa table or may nauna ng example doon nakalagay 5th May. Yan, 5th May. Ang sagot mo ay May 7 kasi yun ang narinig mo. So dahil hindi ka sumunod sa format, yung May 7, kahit yun yung narinig mo, mali pa rin siya. So dapat 7th May. Susundan mo yung format ng example doon sa part ng exam mo. Doon sa part niya mismo na yan. Kasi pwede mag-iba na naman yung format sa susunod eh. Clear? Okay. Yun lang. So, thank you so much. Same with our Zoom participants, John, Kurt, Melo, Michiko, Myrna, Natalie. Have a nice day. God bless. Good luck. Bye. Kayo, may tanong?